Hey guys, my name is Ian, this is Carberra. Welcome to series where I teach you how to build a Discord or pop-up for your server. Today we are talking about kicking members, banning members, and clearing messages. So let's get into it. First, we're going to need a cog for mod. I've actually taken the liberty of pre-creating the cog that we're going to need to save on one, editing, and two, considerable amounts of time. If you don't know what any of this means, then you haven't been watching the rest of the series. Fantastic. Literally just go back to pretty much any other video, specifically the introduction to cogs, if at all possible, to look that up. We do have a few differences, so we're importing check failure, I believe, again. I actually don't remember if we did that last time. I think we did. I think in the font one we did. And we're also importing two other things: has permissions, which we've used already, but I'm going to go into more detail with, and bot has permissions, which is roughly the same thing, just with somewhat obvious differences, I feel. So we're going to be making 3 commands, and I'm going to make them all. Well, I'm actually going to make these first 2, and then we're going to talk about them. So name equals kick, and I'm going to do like just the entire like top line definition, not C text, and then tell you what I'm doing afterwards. So pass, and then we need a ban as well. Cool. I'm actually going to call this kick members and ban members just to be a little more concise about what we're talking about. So, I'll actually wait a second. We need to do that. Fantastic. So these are our base commands that we're going to be using. So we have a kick and a ban, obviously. So both commands take self and ctext as always. However, both commands also take this target's greedy member. Now we do actually need to import greedy from discord.ext.commands. Now if you remember, we were talking about optional arguments. Greedy is essentially multiple arguments of this type. So if I go into the Discord real quick and kind of show you what I mean by that, once I actually get everything sorted out, because I didn't think to prep the Discord before coming in here. Huzzah! See, if I were to do something like kick Carberra, or kick Parafoxy, apparently it's going to come up, then targets would be a list with Parafoxy being one element. If I were to do the Carberra, so if you kick out the bot, for example, this would now be a list containing 2 elements. And whereas an optional of a member converts it to a member, a greedy will do the same thing. So these 2 will then convert into a list of 2 member objects that you can use, and it will keep converting until it can no longer convert. Now, if there is actually another argument, which I have realised that we've forgotten to put in, so we can put in something like reason. We can have it as an optional string, and we can set the default as a no reason provided. And yes, this is PEP8 compliant, having the spaces in there. It's a bit weird, but I don't know. We're doing this the PEP8 way, boys, and girls. Could be girls too. Apparently, about like 0.3% of my audience is female, according to my analytics. So that's something. But if we were to do that, for example, we can then provide reason, for example, for being a weirdo, and Parafoxy and Carberra would be converted to member objects, and for being a weirdo would be assigned to this reason argument. In the same way, I could just have one and it would work the same. If I didn't provide a reason at all, it would be automatically set to no reason provided, if we do it like this. So you can set this to whatever you want. I'm just setting it as no reason provided because it makes the most sense. Yeah, now we're actually going to create our command. So the first thing we need to do is check if there are any targets in the list at all. So if not len targets, because greedy isn't optional, so we actually have to do this check manually. And then await ctx.send. We can probably just raise a. Can we raise missing required argument automatically? I have no idea. I'm just going to send the same message as the bot does to make it consistent. Where is it? It's here somewhere. There you go. One or more required arguments are missing. We're just gonna have that for consistency's sake. You can put a custom error message in there if you want, but I don't want to. Elif, well not elif, just else. Else for target in targets. Await target dot kick. Reason reason equals reason. And that will actually kick the member from the server. And that will do that because we're looping through or iterating through the targets list. It will do that for every target you provide. And we're going to add a bit more flair to this because we're actually going to send a little confirmation or a log to logs. In the same way we have these member deletions, we're actually going to send a little thing saying that that's happened. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to define a log channel here. Self.log channel equals, and then we need bot.get channel, and then we need the ID. Let me get that real quick. Copy ID. Go. And then we can do await self.log channel.send. And we probably need an embed actually. I didn't turn my phone on silent before doing this. I am a true professional. Yeah, we're gonna want an embed. So from Discord, because I'm gonna get shouted at if I don't do an embed. My house will be raised down and my server will be burnt to the ground. They both mean the same thing, but they're both as bad as each other. So we're gonna have embed equals embed title equals member kicked. I don't know, that works. Member kicked. We're not gonna have a description, I don't think. And then we're gonna have color equals. I think we're gonna have like a more red color for this. So I'm thinking something like, I didn't actually maybe like DD2222. Something off the top of my head. Let me just check if that's a good color I actually use. Okay, yeah, that'll probably be fine. I just don't want it too absolutely bright because I don't really like bright colors that much. We can always modify that later. DD2222 is decent enough. And then the timestamp, of course. We can't have an embed without a timestamp. That's against the law, as we all know. It's actually against Discord TOS to make an embed without a timestamp. That is a true story. It's a complete lie. You can tell I've spent the last few hours writing up the new server regulations and stuff. All the guidelines. I don't like to call them rules or regulations because that kind of implies that they're meant to be broken, doesn't it? Really. Do we want a thumbnail? I guess so. Embed.set thumbnail. We actually remembered to do it this time. Equals ctx.author. No, that's not right. Target.avatar URL. There we go. Got there in the end. And then fields equals our list of tuples that we love so much. That is name, value, inline. And we have, I don't know, member, and then we don't really want member.mention, so we can have member.displayName. We could probably put both, like, so maybe a system like member.name, aka member.displayName. It's not really necessary, but we're going to have it in anyway, because why the hell not? And then we want inline to be false. And then we want actioned by. So this would be the person who actually kicked them. So it would be ctx.author.display name. You know, I'll just have display name. Screw it. But then I don't know. It depends how easily recognizable they would be. We'll leave it. I've already written it. There's no point in changing it. And then we have our reason. Oops. which just reason, and that will also be false. As I said, reason, if no reason is provided by the user, then be set to no reason provided. I've also just realised I'm going to have to find some sort of way to test multi-bands and stuff. That's an interesting one. I'll think about that. Embed. For now we need to do for name value inline in embed.fields, not embed.fields, and just fields. They're not part of the embed yet. Add fields, name equals name, value equals value, inline equals inline, and then we are sending that. So we can just kick my test account. I don't think my test account's in the server at the moment, so let me just fix that real quick. Okay, so as you can see, my test account is now in the server. It's here under the tot helper role. Weren't given the announcements role when they joined, but we'll ignore that for now. That's probably an issue with the fact that both Carberra and everything are online at the same time. Even though Carberra is not actually supposed to be online right now, I don't think. Oh no, it's not. Never mind. It's just Tutorialbot being broken, because Tutorialbot is Tutorialbot and Tutorialbot is broken. This is why I'm making a new series. So if we run the bot now, oh actually, there is something else that we forgot. We need to actually check the permissions. So this is where these bot has permissions and has permissions come in. So to do this, we simply pass through like this. So we have a bot has permissions. This checks if the bot has any of these permissions here. So we're saying kick members equals true. So if the bot has kick members permission, then it will work. And this one is saying if the author of the command has the kick members permission, it will work. So we do actually need to do some error handling down here. Kick members error, no, kick members dot error, async def kick members error self, whoopsie daisies, self ctex and our exception. So if is instance exception check failure, then we want to send ctx.send insufficient permissions to perform that task. Now there is a little bit of a, that's not perfect, because either one of these will actually throw a check failure, so we'll just get an insufficient permissions to perform that task command. It won't tell you which is which. You can fix that with custom errors. We're not going to be doing that in this series. I might make a 0.5 at some point to check, is it like episode 7 or something I did the error handling. If I made a 7.5 explaining more detailed error handling, then watch that. It'll be a card at the top if I remember, which I probably won't. Otherwise, just leave it at that for now, or join the Discord server and ask for help with it. Or look at the docs, because the docs do a relatively decent job explaining them. So now we can run the bot, and now we can kick our members, or more accurately, I was going to say, or more accurately, we'll get an error. The program beat me to it. We forgot to import member like we needed to. Oh my word. Right, the bot is online. We can kick our test account, and we'll say, oh no, what can the reason be? For being stupid. There we go. For being stupid. Well, the kick worked. I don't know what happened there. Oh, because it's target.name. Whoopsie daisies. Well, the actual kick worked, so as you can see, I'm no longer in the server. We just messed this up a bit. Yeah, it's target. That's kind of annoying. Right, I'll cut when we're ready to kick the member back out again. Okay, cool. We are back, so we should get a... Oh, we should, for being stupid, for being really stupid. There we go. We'll actually differentiate them. We should nothing will happen. Did I run? I haven't run the bot, have I? No, I haven't. Oh god, why are you even watching these videos? Why have I allowed myself to be in a position where I'm teaching you these things? There we go. No, error good again. Non-type object has no attribute send. That's interesting. Why has that happened? Because we've done it on the init rather than the onReady. That's what's happened there. So we need to set that there. Cool. Coolio. Cool beans. Alright, be back in a second, I suppose. Right, okay, we're back. We're about to kick our test account for the third time. It worked! Fantastic. So everyone's been kicked. We haven't got an error. We've got a login here saying member kicked. XFRAP, aka XFRAP, obviously if they had a nickname it would appear. Action by Carberra, reason for being really stupid. So that's just a cool little thing you can do. A little addition to the kick command there. Ban command works very similarly. So we can actually probably just copy and paste this over the top and actually kind of already got to do all this again. We can actually just do in Sublime, we can just do that and everything's fixed. So we have our ban command, ban members equals true. We definitely need to make sure that is set correctly. Everything else is fine as long as the ban is there, and yeah, everything else is perfectly fine. However, we do need to actually do member ban and do that. So once again, oh, we also need to change these ones down here too. Cool. So once again, I'll get back to you once we have this working, or once my my test account is back in the server. Sorry. Okay, so my test account is back, and we're gonna ban him because we don't like him. Actually, I should really show off the audit log and say that streamer mode is enabled and we need to disable it because streamer mode is annoying. You know, log and say, there we go, Carberra kicked XFRAP for being really stupid. So yeah, all these things work. All these other ones are just S4 and tutorial bot going crazy over the fact that someone joined the server. Because I have a million bots that do a million things. Yeah. So we can ban XFRAP for actually being nice and helping me test this system. There we go. XFRAP isn't so bad, you know. But we're gonna ban him anyway. That did absolutely nothing. Is the bot even running? No, it's not. Seriously, why are you letting me teach you these things? Cool, that actually worked first time, I think. Remember banned for actually really nice and helping me test the system. So if we go into server settings and go to bans, we'll see that XFRAP is actually on this list. If you go in for actually being nice and helping me test the system, if you revoke the ban, so we can do that from here. And then, well, I suppose really now I should I should do a test with multiple accounts. So I'll work out how I'm going to do that, and I'll get back to you in a second. We're back. I've worked out what I'm going to do with the multiple accounts. However, I do want to add some extra UX first to both the kick and the ban commands to just make them a little bit nicer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to send a message to the place where we sent the invoke the command. What's it? The channel. There we go. The channel we invoke the command. Just saying kicks complete. Or maybe like kicks, or maybe action complete or something. Just something to let the user know. Obviously, they'll have the logs too, but you know it's nice. And there is actually another check that we need to do. So we need to do a check here to say if target.toprole or if self ctx .gil.me.toprole.position is greater than target.toprole dot position. So what this is going to do is it's going to check to make sure that the bot is higher in the role hierarchy than the member we're trying to kick, because if that's not true, then rip. And ideally you would also want to check this to see if they're an administrator too. So you could do, I mean, realistically speaking, you're never going to have a bot above the admin role, but you could do and ctx.guild and target dot and not target dot guild permissions dot administrator. That is running far too long, so we're going to make that 2 lines. So basically what this will do now is it will check to make sure that the role of the bot is higher than the role of the target, and make sure that target is not administrator, because it can only kick the member in those 2 circumstances. So we're actually going to do the same thing here with the ban command before we forget, because I will forget otherwise. I'm going to do an action complete down here. We're also going to have a little bit of UX to say if that didn't work. Send target.displayName could not be kicked as well, just target.displayName could not be kicked, why not? Doesn't need to be too intense. We'll just have that here, but for ban instead. Like that. And then we can also like count the number of kicks and say like 1 of 2 done, but we're not going to bother doing that. I think that'll just get a bit too much. So it's the same check for both, yeah. So that should now work. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna kick exofrap and Carberra prototype. The reason I made Carberra prototype in the first place is that I was gonna plan the bot beforehand properly, but I ended up deciding against that, and I'm kind of glad I did. But we don't need it anymore, so we're gonna kick it, and we're also gonna kick without a reason as well, just to test that works. So Carberra, and we're gonna try and mention the member if at all possible. Knowing my luck, this won't work, but here we go. It worked. Neither of them can be kicked. Even though they both, one was actually complete. Yeah, one was, one wasn't, but the message fired it anyway. Okay, yeah, so as you can see, I actually set Carberra prototype's role to be administrator, so we're going to turn it off, just so we can actually get this done. But yeah, as you can see, that worked because Carberra prototype is still in the server. Well, I got rid of it now, but you saw it was still in the server before. But I don't know why this message sent, even though it kicked. So we're going to check that real quick. Oh, you know what I did? Forgot to make an else statement. Oh my god, I am actually a div of the highest order. Right, okay, we're back in the game. After I fixed that pretty dumb error on my part, I wasn't actually going to test the could not be kicked thing, but it happens that I just forgot that Carberra prototype was administrator. We tested it anyway, and to be honest, I'm glad we did. So if I do now plus kick, exo, farap, and interesting, the mention actually worked this time, which is weird. If we do that, we should see that the bot isn't online for the 3rd time. Oh my god. Goodness gracious me. I've been awake for a long time, alright. I had to get up early this morning. That's my excuse for all this. So if we kick them now, they will both be gone. As you can see, both members were kicked. Yes, both members were kicked. The role updates. Oh, the role updates triggered for some reason. I don't know why that was a thing. I don't know why it just randomly. Oh, because it got rid of the role because it's a bot. Oh, that's interesting. because the Carberra tutorial or the Carberra prototype obviously had a role of its own, so it got rid of that first, then deleted the memo. Okay, that's an interesting insight into how the Discord works. But yeah, everything works fine. If we go, no reason provided, as you can see, if you go into here and go into the audit log, we'll see Carberra prototype, no reason provided, no reason provided. It will give the same reason for every member you kick or ban. So keep that in mind as well. So if you're kicking people for different reasons, then do separate commands. We haven't even tackled clearing messages yet. Goodness gracious me, this video is 32 minutes long. I might do that in another video. I'm gonna do a follow-up video because this video is getting really damn long now. So yes, join me next time we talk about clearing messages and stuff, because this video took way longer than expected. If you like the video, and stay down below. If you have any questions, leave them down below as well, or join the Discord server using the link in the description. If you really like the video, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to stay up to date with future videos. And if you really like the video, consider donating on Patreon. Of course, you don't have to, but it would be a really cool thing for you to do. Next time, as I said, we will be handling clearing messages, because this video is stupid long and I don't really like videos being that much longer than half an hour. So I'll see you then.